I hope that you don't think it was just a bunch of desert dweller, cave dwelling, desert dwelling, cave dwelling Muslims that had the wherewithal and the technology and the money and everything to pull off. They had to take. They took up 5 planes altogether. Or was it 4? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 planes altogether went up to crash, and all of them but one hit something. And yet, the one that supposedly hit Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, whatever, down there, it there was no airplane debris anywhere. No, if you looked at the crater, you looked at the crash site. There's a big crater, little teeny pieces of material no bigger than a foot wide, and no pieces of airplane. There were no pieces of seats, controls, wires, none of that stuff. Where'd it go? You know what that means? That means annihilation by explosive means. And when you crash like that, when the plane hits it doesn't explode like that. There is no catastrophic explosion. Amazing. And if it did, it wouldn't produce enough energy to break down so many pieces, to break it down so small. So that's just the one that crashed out there in the field. Let's take the one that supposedly crashed into a Pentagon. Once again, no airplane debris, no seats, nothing that would remind you of an airliner. In fact, one of the receptionists, actually one of the officers, a senior officer, a female, was in her office when it happened and crashed and opened up her office. And as she crawled out with another officer, she said that there was no airplane debris around. No seats, no ailerons, no gear, no nothing. And it couldn't have blown that much away. If it would have blown that much out of the building. And then when you look at the buildings themselves, the towers, and that building 7, they call it, look at the way they fell, for one thing. Well, I know for a fact, building 7 came down from an explosion. It was said right there at the time. There's videos to prove it. You see firefighters actually saying this. Watch out, there's going to be another explosion. Things like that, right during the time it all happens. And when that building comes down, it came down at free fall speed as if there were no other floors hindering it. Now, the only way to do that is for that fall to be able to disregard those floors. So they would have had to have been blown out, disengaged somehow. The only way to do that is thermite. And there were thermite globules, steel globules found all over the place. And then they said when they came downstairs, the whole lobby was blown up before the rest of it. It was completely exploded. So what do you believe? Do you believe is this just the jihad? Or is it that Bush, not Bush, maybe Cheney and Rumsfeld saw this, but I doubt if Bush did.
Virus database has been updated.
Oh, man, right in the middle of my video. Thank you very much, virus database. Sorry about that, but I'm not gonna film over it. Hell with it. I'm not gonna tape over it. Hell with it. Anyway, back to the point I'm making. So if you think it was all just a bunch of cave dwelling, desert dwellers, with rope, if you think those people had the wherewithal, the technology to pull off this kind of a conspiracy, man, you're either paranoid or just stupid. So what is it? What do you believe? M.O. Owens, for one, he's a geek. What does everybody really believe? We know what's really going on now. It's not this cut and dried jihad. Not at all. There's just way too many coincidences that involve Bush and Cheney and such. Like Cheney taking over command of the Air Force during this what they call the false flag exercise they were doing, right at the time of the damn assault on the towers. Yeah. And whatever happened to our combat patrols? As soon as the first building was hit, they should have had combat patrols up. But they didn't. And then what's wrong with Bush? He hears about it, and not only does he not react right away like he should, your country's being attacked, you need to jump up and get to a bunker or the Air Force One or something to get things rolling. Not only did he not jump up and do that, he sat there dumbfounded, looking stupid for 7 minutes. He just gave the Russians 7 minutes to get their missiles over here. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And then he lies about it because he's so scared, because he doesn't know what to do. He's getting caught. He sees it. We're not falling for all of it. So he gets scared. I think it was about a month later. A reporter had asked him, well, where were you? What did you do when you first heard about the attack on the towers? He actually made this story up. Listen to this. Well, I was walking outside the school, outside this classroom, and I looked and I saw the first plane hit. And obviously, there was a TV in the room there. I saw the first plane hit, and I thought, what a lousy pilot that is. First plane? That's what he said. First plane? Nobody saw the first plane hit. It's done on tape that they know of. Someone might have it. You never know. But he knows. That's the problem. He's trying to make up another story now. Instead of admitting that he was sitting there and didn't do anything, he makes up a story. And y'all still, you idiots, you still reelect him. Fucking idiots. After he does all this shit, gets us in a war, spends what, $6 trillion when he gets into office in the first few weeks. So, and he just ruins the economy. He takes away our rights, gets us in a war we don't need to be in. I think he engineered this whole freaking thing so he could have his own Christian fucking jihad. He told Tony Blair about how he's born again now. They're the only two that are trying to save the world. He actually called himself a crusader. W did. So yeah, there's something real fishy going on. And I think Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld, and Baker have a lot to answer for. Something very wrong with this picture. You know there is. There's no way those buildings could have come down like that in the first place. They couldn't have. They were built to withstand that type of an impact. Don't you get that? Made of a skeletal structure, not your regular brick facade metal, but an actual skeletal structure that actually impairs explosions and catastrophic injury, catastrophic, you know, it wouldn't fall like, and if it did fall, it wouldn't go free fall straight down. Both of them did. You could say coincidence, one of them might do it, but they both did. In fact, all three. Remember what we said about Building 7? Yeah. So yeah, there's something real fishy going on. We all need to ask questions. A lot of questions. So let's keep it up. Don't shut up. Keep going, Richard. Put out all you can, man. Don't let Mo bend you over his knee, because that's what he wants to do. Signing off. This is Gerald Reynolds in Portland, Oregon. Not very happy with you, Obama. Telling me everything's okay. I can go home now. You can go home now. There's nothing to see here. Bullshit. Good night. Signing off.